Welcome to another Words with X, where words keep us moving from day to day. Hey, and I'm going to just tell y'all now, today I'm going to talk about something a little different. It's going to be a little different today, alright? Y'all, I read a lot of times, and one thing I came across, the other day actually, the other day I came across, pretty much sum it all up, I came across some do's and don'ts of husbands and wives. Don't know how I got on that. I was reading, it popped up, and I was like, hey, this is kind of interesting. So, today, I'm going to list a few of those and give my thoughts on them to let y'all think on them for yourselves. So, I'm going to read them, give my thoughts on them, and let y'all consider them for yourself, what y'all think, stuff like that, you know? So, y'all ready? Let's jump into it. Let's be honest. No marriage or relationship is perfect, and there are always some things we each do, both men and women, that could be changed, or at least be improved, re-articulated, recalibrated, whatever you want to call it. We both do it, men and women. So in today's episode, after reading, like I said a minute ago, a lot of do's and don'ts, I'm going to read some of those do's and don'ts for all of us. I'm going to list a few I thought some would like to hear and talk my opinions on those. Now remember, I'm going to say this now. Remember, these are just my opinions. You are 100% free to disagree, obviously. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. These are just my opinions. My thoughts, my opinions, how I feel. So, saying that now. Plus, to keep it equal, I'm going to bounce back and forth from man and woman. You know, that's just right, you know. And, because I'm a gentleman, in my mind, women's always comes first. So, I'm going to start with the women. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be saying only applies to men and women either. So, if I'm talking about the women, doesn't mean it just applies to them. It could apply to all of us, to be clearly honest. So, it doesn't mean it just applies to the man or woman. It just happened to be what I read associated with that gender at that time when I read it. Alright, with that went out the way, let's dive into it, y'all. Alright, so like I said a while ago, I'm going to start with the ladies. So, ladies, don't think that there's any satisfactory substitute for love between husband and wife. Respect and esteem make a good foundation, but they won't do alone. Yeah, I like that. What you said. I mean, I wrote it, but I do like that, and I fully agree with this and think it's something women and men. Like I said, this applies for everyone. I just am going by what I read when I read it for that gender. But again, I fully agree with this and think it's something that needs to be remembered, because can't tell you how many times I've heard married women and men. I don't mean to be sexist or anything. Again, this is just because where I read it from. I've heard married people online talking about missing the love that couple once had, so they try for a baby, or they try for a pet, or a new house, or etc., etc., etc. I hate to break it to you, people. The love between a man and a wife can only be reignited or brought back to what it once was by just that, you and him. Don't think a new house or a new friend or whatever will be the same kind of love, because it won't be. I can assure you that it won't be. Like I said, I'll read this one again. Don't think that there's any satisfactory substitute between, or let me rephrase that, satisfactory substitute for the love between husband and wife. Alright, now fellas, don't think I'm going to be all about ladies on this. Fellas, this one's for y'all. Fellas, don't increase the necessary work of the house by leaving all your things lying about in different places. If not tidy by nature, at least be thoughtful of others. Yes! Yes! Come on, y'all. Come on. This one, I'm sorry. I'm talking to the fellas on this one. Don't get me wrong. I know women can do this too, but fellas, and I know half my boys are like this. Fellas, come on, guys. Come on. I'm sure a grand majority of guys out here listening right now, and out there probably not even listening, had parents who would pick up after them when they were young. But, and I hate to break it to y'all, but, fellas, your wife ain't your mama. That's the truth. Your wife is not there to be your mama. You're grown enough to be married. If you're a grown man and you're grown enough to be married, You grown enough to pick up after yourself. God darn it, that's the truth. That is the truth. If you grown enough to be married, you can pick up after yourself, okay? So if you grown enough to be married, you grown enough to pick up after yourself. So do just that. Do just that, fellas. Come on now. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. I'm not saying you gotta be like, like, I can't even think of nothing right now, but that is so true, fellas. Come on now. Come on. It's your house and home as well, so clean up your part. Come on, fellas. Clean up your part. And don't get me wrong, I know a few of my buddies, they actually do clean up after themselves in the household. But again, fellas, don't increase the necessary work of the house by leaving all your things lying about in different places. So let's jump back to the ladies now. Ladies, don't put on airs with your husband. If you can't be natural with him, you shouldn't have married him. Yeah, and I can't second this one enough. I agree with it. Because I can't tell you how, for me anyway, it's kind of upsetting for me when my wife tries to put on airs with me thinking I won't notice. I mean, we've been married so long. Come on, I'm going to notice. And it just kind of upsets me. Don't put on airs. Don't put on airs, Like, you and your man ain't newly dating. We got to put on that good show, good face, all that stuff, okay? Marriage is supposed to be with the person you can be most comfortable with. Weird all of that. You're supposed to be the most comfortable with them. So be just that. If you put on airs, it means you may look elsewhere to someone else to be fully you. Not only denying something that's supposed to be done with your husband, yeah, but it'll also make your husband feel less of an important to you as he should. So avoid putting on airs, ladies. As stated earlier, if you can't be naturally you around him, you shouldn't have married him. And like I said, I second that. Don't put on airs, Don't put on like, yeah. My wife knows I'm weird. I know I do a lot of weird things, but this one I've shown her it all, expressed it all. She knows, hey, this all X. This is what you get. This is all me. If you don't like it, or I can't be this way with you, then let me know now. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do something about it. But the point is, I'm naturally me around her. Now, don't get me wrong. When I come on the podcast, I'm a little more freeing because I can say what I want. Don't get me wrong. We all know in marriage you can't say every little detail you want, per se, because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, stuff like that. But the point is, I am like my natural self around my wife, and I just feel that's good to be. And I feel she is with me most of the time, too. So I just feel that's a good thing to be. Hold on, getting text up the behind right now. But yeah, ladies, don't put on airs with your husband. It won't benefit you in the long run. Now, fellas, I'm back to y'all now. I know I was hard on y'all last time, but let's be honest, y'all. We ain't the best of people. We ain't. So, fellas, don't take it out on your wife every time you have a headache or a cold. I'm thinking of a lot of TV shows that have already said this, but I'm putting it out there again. Don't take it out on your wife every time you have a headache or a cold. It isn't her fault, and she has enough to deal with in nursing you without having to listen to your ill humor during the ordeal. Yes. I agree with this as well. I mean, yeah. Yes, I understand this one. Didn't say it's an easy one to admit, but I'll even say it. I'm guilty of it every now and then when I get sick. Though I don't mean to be, I know how I am when I get sick. Even if it's not ill humor, just us men in general. And I'm trying to get better. I didn't say it'd be easy, but trying to. So, but put it like this. Men, when we were young, we probably were cradled by our moms and could be that whole, wah, give me this, that, la. But as a husband, fellas, your woman didn't marry a baby per se, but a man. Meaning she didn't want to hear the wah when you sick. So, take the time while you sick to just rest. Keep your mouth shut. That's usually where the biggest problem comes. Keep your mouth shut. Thank her for nursing you while you're ill. And help when and if you can to take some of the load off of her while you're sick. So I'll say this one more time for you fellas. Don't take it out on your wife every time you have a headache or a cold. Alright, now, ladies, I'm going to close y'all with this last one because I'm only going to do a few for each of us. But, ladies, I'm going to close y'all with the last one. And this last one for y'all is don't expect life to be all sunshine, may, all that stuff once y'all get married. Yeah, yeah. Don't expect life to be all sunshine once y'all get married. If there are no clouds, you'll lose the opportunity to show your husband what a good friend, support, pal you can be. Ladies, this is so true. This is so true. Oh, this is so true. This is so true. It's something hard to keep. It's something I keep reminding my wife of. When the first few years of marriage, I reminded her a lot of this in the first few years of marriage. Marriage ain't about the fun, but it's about getting through the hard times together and being able to laugh on it later together, hopefully. That's what you're looking for. Be able to laugh about it later. Like, trust me, there's been a lot of stuff me and her been through at the time. It come to heads, it's just bam, bam, bam. But now we look back on it and laugh, and it's them kind of memories and that understanding and that togetherness that kind of strengthens the marriage to me anyway. But the point is, don't expect once y'all get married, ladies, that's gonna be all sunshine. No. Like I said, it ain't about the fun. It's about being able to laugh on it together later. Hopefully, that's what you're looking for. Hopefully, you're being able to laugh together about it. Thinking as a married couple, nothing will ever go wrong and won't be tough times, the two of y'all, is setting up the marriage from the start down a bad path. Yeah, if you go into it thinking, ain't nothing gonna happen to us, we married, we good. You already setting up the marriage on a bad path, you putting bad energy on it. Yeah, so just ladies, don't think that. Just don't. Just don't. Don't. Alright, now fellas, I'm gonna end with y'all to end this podcast episode out altogether. And I chose this one for a reason, because I had to learn this the very hard way myself. And even to today, it's still a struggle with me with life being life. So fellas, don't be too grave and solemn. Raise a bit of fun in the home now and then. Guys, I'm going to lay something on you that I learned pretty fast. In the house that you share with your wife, or kids and all that, in the household you live with them, your wife and kids look to you for that tone of the house. I know it sounds confusing, but they do. They look for you for the tone of the house. They may never say it, but they do. And what I mean by that is, if you come in there pissed off about work, anything else going on, you're putting that energy into the household, and it affects everyone else in the household that happens to either be living with you or even just visiting. So, fellas, and usually this is for like the head of the household, which, let's be honest, even if you're the man of the household, you may be the head of the household, you're not exactly running the entire house, but your part plays a big role in the tone of the house and how everyone else feels in that house. And I'm laughing because I remember one example. I don't remember what exactly happened. The wife was upset with me about something, and then we had some other people over, and I was cool. She wasn't. It just was a bad energy and vibe. I'm not going to go into details about it for the public. But the point is, my keeping a good, not so much putting on airs, but just a good tone for the household, kept the household a good energy at that time. So, yeah, fellas, don't be so solemn and so, it just... Yeah, don't. Like I said a minute ago, they look to you for a good tone. They may never say it. They probably won't. But, yeah, they look to you for that. So, pretty much, meaning, men, if you're cold, mean, and pretty much, and they all around, that's the tone floating in the house and seeping onto other members of the house. Nobody should want that tone in their household. I'm sorry. Nobody should want that tone in their household on purpose. So, fellas, as much as I know some days we just don't feel like it, we ain't got it, we just ain't there. Remember, for your wife and kids and the tone of the house, find some fun to implement into the tone so the energy around you is one of a happy and fun one. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to be like a clown or nothing like that, but just uplift, make it more upwards than a downer. to sum it all up in a short, easy way, put it like that. Uplift, make more funner than a downer. I'm not saying you gotta feel like all great, grand, and what per se you are putting out there, but you should get a sense of feeling good by making your wife and your kids feel good. Even if your work and everything else suck like that, something to piss you off, whatever, put that to the side. Remember, hey, your kids should be the most important, and your wife and all that. So for that time, in that moment, just put that good energy and that nice energy out there so they feel good, so the house feels good, so you can have that good feeling, you know? I mean, like I said a while ago, no one will thank you for it, but 9 out of 10, you will feel glad you did when you see the smiles on their face and hear them laughing during it all. And that's why I said a while ago, you don't have to feel it. Like, you be sitting there, everything good and everything like that. Trust me, I do it all the time. You ain't got to feel what is being done per se at the moment is great and fun and everything like that and stuff like that. But you're putting good energy out there, so your wife's feeling good, your kids are feeling good. And that alone, seeing the smiles, feeling that they're feeling good, the kids are feeling good, all that should, in some kind of way, make you feel a little good. Even I'm not saying it's got to make you feel great, but it should make you feel a little good. A little good to the point that whatever you appealed about, wanted to put out, that grave, solemn, all that, fades away a good amount because their smiles and their happiness makes you feel good. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Well, that will conclude this episode of Words with X, everybody. Hope y'all really listened and took in some things I said in this episode. It really is some stuff to keep in the back of your mind for you married people. And if you try, you can see just how applying a few of what I said, not all, just a few of what I said in this episode, to see if it don't add a little spark of light to your marriage that may not have been there before. See if it don't add just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And as always, remember, y'all, words is what keeps us moving.